Winbush. That's a little deceiving because Winbush didn't fight professionally until he was 26 years of age. His biggest victory was a knockout of Matthew Saad Muhammad, the former WBC light heavyweight champion, in the third round back in 1983. He ranked as high as 5th in 83, but he has lost successive 10-round decisions in 1984 to David Sears and Fully Obel. He is a defensive fighter. He is very ring-wise, and I think you might see in some instances where he will deliberately try to frustrate Evander Holyfield. The tail of the tape now, you see the 11-year difference in age. The weight is not much of a factor. Height is on the side of Holyfield. Height for him is 6'1 1/4. Whereas Winbush comes in at 5'11 1/2, and the reach is relatively the same. Tony Orlando is the referee. Winbush is managed by Frank Shaka and trained by John Bowman. They're in the corner. And, of course, Holyfield is the corner people will be Lou Duba. But also in the corner for Holyfield is George Benton, a very good middleweight out of Philadelphia in recent years. And Kenny Sanders is the manager for Holyfield. And Evander opening with that strong left hand. He is quite quick at 178 pounds. Winfield taking the left hand flush in the face early in this round. Holyfield, who talks of going to the heavyweight division eventually, but first he wants to season himself and prove himself in the light heavyweight division. And it's a division that offers a great deal of opportunity for Evander Holyfield. So Winbush is taking some punishment early in the going here from the big guy out of Atlanta, Georgia. The Yugoslav boxer who took the gold, that's a push, that took the gold medal in Los Angeles while Holyfield wound up sharing the bronze, Josipovic, he has turned professional. Signed with people down in Italy, and the possibility exists that Evander Holyfield will get his chance to box Josipovic somewhere down the road as a professional. Of course, you can recall there was a former light heavyweight champion that came out of Yugoslavia, Mate Parlov. Remember him? Yugoslavs are allowed to come out into the Western world and compete as professional athletes. Evander Holyfield in the white trunks. Almost a 3-inch advantage in height over Eric Winbush. Winbush taking a hard left to the side of the head on that exchange on the ropes. But sometimes fighting Eric Winbush can be like windmilling against an octopus because he knows every trick there is. He's hard to hit, and he's very good at tying your laces inside. At 33 years of age, coming off successive losses to top-ranked contenders in the light heavyweight division, this is a day of considerable opportunity for him because at 33 there can't be that many left. Holyfield, having gone the 6 rounds against Lionel Bayarn, showing some patience here in this first round. He's not galloping across the ring nor windmilling, and he's trying to make every punch have some meaning, and so far it appears to me that he is doing that. Dishing out considerable punishment to Eric Winbush and controlling the pace of this light heavyweight fight in the first round. Evander Holyfield in the white trunks, going number 2 against Eric Winbush in the red trunks. Holyfield controlling the pace of the fight, landed 3 good, solid left hands on Winbush in that first round. When Holyfield went into training to make his move into professional boxing after the Olympic Games, working with Lou Duba, he didn't have the confidence that he could go beyond 3. And he would go to the 4th or 5th round in his training procedure, and he'd get tired. So as a result, Duba, who's been around a while, and George Benton, they get him working in 2.5-minute rounds, and they get him up to 5, 6, 7, and eventually 8 2.5-minute rounds until they had sold Holyfield on the idea that he could go on and on and on and on. So once he had the confidence, they upped the clock to 3-minute rounds, and even though he did tend to go a little flat in his professional debut in the 4th round, he finished rounds 5 and 6 quite strong against Bayern. I guess probably the biggest worry they have right now, you see Lou there, is keeping Evander away from pizza joints. He is a big pizza fan, once walked 3 miles each way so that he can indulge. But right now, he seems to have no trouble handling the 178-pound weight class. And as we said earlier, that light heavyweight division, once you get past Michael Spinks, there's a lot of room for young lions. Pinned on the ropes, 33-year-old Eric Winbush. He works with senior citizens outside of his boxing career. Comes out of Brooklyn and comes in with a record of 14 wins, 8 losses, and 5 KOs, and tumbles back into the corner, and that did result from a punch. It was sort of obscure in that flurry that was thrown over in the corner, but Winbush acknowledged the effects of it and took the 8 count willingly, and right now Holyfield tags him with a hard left hand as he tried to come off the rope. He's got him in the corner, and Holyfield is working on him. Winfield tries the overhand right. Winbush against Matthew Saad Muhammad, but it didn't even slow Holyfield down. Evander walked right through it and nailed him again with a hard right to the body and a left to the head. Holyfield with a flurry trying to finish him here in round number 2. Now he's beginning to show a little patience as he accepts some pace here rather than engage in a wild flurry that would be energy sapping. Inside 10 seconds, and Winbush is going to survive round number 2 after having been knocked down. Round number 3, light heavyweights. Evander Holyfield putting Eric Winbush on the floor in the 2nd round, and they're both now doing a little shoving and pushing. Antonio Orlando talking to both fighters, and in particular Winbush, and Eric, of course, saying, oh, look, he's pushing too. It was a bit of a delayed reaction in the knockdown, but Winbush did not object to the standing 8 count. He came over in the corner and apparently was a left hand to the side of the head. I don't think that is a very good place for Winbush to be with Holyfield's power, because Holyfield is strong, and he seems to generate a great deal of leverage in a short punch. The earlier fights, Meldrick Taylor went 6 rounds for a decision to continue undefeated, and Danny Avery stopped after 4 rounds by Pernell Whitaker, and Whitaker continues to look very, very sharp as a professional, both of them winning their 2nd professional fights. We continue our coverage of the Olympians going pro. Holyfield controlling the pace of this fight. Winbush digging inside and getting a short uppercut to the chin of Holyfield, but he just keeps Winbush pinned right on the ropes and bangs away at him. With a hard left hand to the body by Holyfield. Now he steps back to get a little more room and a little more leverage, and a left hand puts Winbush down in the corner. And Winbush objecting to the 8 count now by the referee, Tony Orlando, and talking to the referee. Eric pretty good at lobbying here in the middle of the fight. He's going to be in trouble and real sore tomorrow, though, if he continues to try to handle Holyfield on the ropes. It's just a constant barrage from Evander Holyfield, with Winbush leaning back against the ropes. And eventually that's going to take its toll, because Holyfield is pounding away at the body. In fact, working more to the body, I think, than to the head. We are in round number 3, and remember that Holyfield had to go 6 hard rounds with Lionel Barham of Philadelphia in his opening pro fight. There's a left to the head and followed by a right from Holyfield, and another hard left. He's pounding away at the body as we come toward the end of round number 3. I don't know how many of you ever watched George Benton as a middleweight fight. I did many, many times, and he was a very good one. And he's the man doing most of the talking to Evander Holyfield in the minute between the rounds. And one of the lines that he used was this: use your body weight. You're the heavier man. You're the younger and stronger man. Use your body weight. Just go inside with him and hustle him. And right now, he's hustling him all right with a couple of left hooks, and the second one wobbled the knees of Eric Winbush. But that's the way George Benton used to fight. He would just lay his body on you and hustle you. That is not a knockdown. That's a slip. And his hustling inside by George was a sight to behold, because he could really work you over. And he's trying to teach young Evander Holyfield the same technique. If Holyfield absorbs it with his youth and his strength and his hunger and willingness, he may be a sight in time. He made an interesting comment in visiting with him yesterday, though. He said he didn't have all that great an amateur career in that it was not that long. And he came in the year just before the Olympic Games. He just literally blossomed. And he took a couple of tough decisions over a tough fighter named Ricky Womack to get himself in the position to take a medal out of the Olympics. So his amateur boxing career, really, as far as any national posture or international posture, was limited pretty much to about a year. But he says he misses it. He misses the camaraderie of the amateur boxing. Feels that there's a little coldness about being a pro fighter that he has not yet really wholly endorsed and absorbed, but I presume that he will. It is a lonely existence unless he does. Right now, he is really working on Eric Winbush.
Don't stop right again.
Winbush chopping him to the side of the head with a fair right hand there. Holyfield took it, stood his ground.
Don't wait, come on.
Seems now to have accepted pace for a moment. Here in round 4. This was the round in which he went a little flat in his fight against Byram, too, the 4th round. Remember, in the amateur ranks, you fight 3 hard rounds. This one is scheduled for 6. It is the 3rd of the 3 Olympians we have scheduled for you today. Meldrick Taylor winning at 135 earlier, and Pernell Whitaker with a TKO after the 4th round to remain undefeated. Winding down to the end of round number 4, the action slowed considerably in this round. All right, we go to round 5. Holyfield going flat in the last half of that 4th round. Let's see if he picks up the pace. He comes out quicker this time and lands a short, sharp right hand to the side of the head, digging to the body there of Eric Winbush. Winbush, tactics of fighting off the ropes, not serving him very well. Holyfield with a good right hand. I'll tell you one thing else about Holyfield that's a little surprising in this, hard left hook by Holyfield. That shook up Winbush. Now he's ripping. He's a pretty good defensive fighter, Holyfield is. Doesn't get hit all that much. Solid, anyway. Winbush weathering that storm on the ropes. Now goes across and tries another section of the ropes. But he isn't going to beat Evander Holyfield leaning on the ropes. I'll tell you right now. Now he's walked to the corner and said, come on, let's go over here and try it. Might be more comfortable. There's a hard left to the body by Holyfield.
Get that body, baby, get that body. Come on, get that body.
Now he goes try to the other corner. Or so, we'll begin coverage leading up to the kickoff of Super Bowl 19 from Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto, California. The Miami Dolphins and the San Francisco 49ers. The kind of a game that you want to be ready for, so start settling in. This one has everything. Coming up next here on ABC.
Come on, get that body. Come on.
Now Winbush And Holyfield's had let him wander around and casually strolling after him, and every time Winbush stops, Evander pounds on him. Not terribly artistic. At the moment, not particularly entertaining either. But there's no reason for Holyfield to be running around chasing him and flailing away, because he's got the fight well in hand, and right now he just whacked that left hook across the face of Winbush and jarred him. Tony Orlando says to Winbush, come on, let's box. And Eric says, I'm boxing, as he takes another stroll. I'm doing the best I can. It's my body. Oh, a hard right thrown by Holyfield, and that shook Winbush. I'll tell you one thing, Winbush is tough. He's taken some body-jarring belts from Evander Holyfield, and Holyfield now is just wailing away at will, seemingly unconcerned about any reply from Eric Winbush. There's a standing 8-count call by Tony Orlando, the referee, and sends him off to the corner. So Eric Winbush, going back into the corner, seems to be all right. He was accepting the pounding by Evander Holyfield, but as he went back to the corner, talking to Tony Orlando, there seemed no indication that he was not going to come out and answer the bell for round number 6. But he did very little in the last 2 minutes of that round, except walk around the ring and play catch with Evander Holyfield.
All right, then. Look, reach up there and get him, man. See, reach down him arms and get him. Out there, you get him over there, right? Yeah. All right. Let him go up there again. When he goes up there again, I want you to reach here and get him and reach here and get him, right? Okay.
2 hands. You got to do it with 2 hands. You got to do it, baby, okay?
With your left hook, hit him here.
Come on.
Which, you know, when he was up.
Right? 2 hands on it. Come on, let's go.
Our pregame coverage of Super Bowl 19 coming up next here on ABC. There's a lot to be told, of course, about this particular event. It has of the United States. Now they're called to the center of the ring here, and Winbush answers the bell for round number 6, despite a rather severe pounding at the end of the round by Holyfield and a whole lot of walking by Eric Winbush. And he comes on with a combination. That's a tough left hand that Evander Holyfield is putting on him right now. And he's landing it. The judges, Charlie Spina, Lynn Carter, and Rocky Castellani, their chore in this bout right now is relatively academic. Lynn Carter, incidentally, is a lady. We continue to get more and more women judging professional boxing across the country. Short stuff inside, no damage. Neither man really marked, which is testimony to the toughness of Eric Winbush, because Holyfield has thrown a lot. Now Eric's back into the walking and throws a wild right hand that does very little except stir up the air. He's got a slight mouse now, Winbush does, under his left eye, or his right eye, I guess it is. Otherwise, he's unmarked. Short right hand by Winbush. Seemed to jar Holyfield a little as he came in, but he let go with his left and landed it anyway. But he's kind of just walking right through the offense of Eric Winbush now, and Winbush trying to mount some kind of an offense to close out the fight. Throws a hard right hand to the body, but again, Holyfield just walked right on through it.
Come on, right back in. Come on, baby. Get a minute. Get a minute.
These are light heavyweights. 4-pound edge to Evander Holyfield at 178 1/4. Tony Orlando has tried to get Winbush to mix it a little more, but Winbush has disdained the urging and decided to do what he wanted to do, and what he wants to do, it seems at this juncture, is last the 6th round. And apparently he's going to.
Come on, baby.
had to go 6 rounds against Lionel Barham to win his opening professional fight. He's going to go 6 rounds with Eric Winbush to win his 2nd in a row. But this one not as demanding as the first one, and it's over. The Winbush does go 6 with a harder-hitting Holyfield. And though it was not particularly artistic, it seemingly was effective, and we'll be back for the decision in a moment. We are waiting the official decision. Evander Holyfield and Eric Winbush. Here it is with announcer Ed Derry.
The winner by unanimous decision for his 2nd straight win in his many pro bouts, Evander Holyfield.
Holyfield wins his 2nd successive 6-round decision. Meldrick Taylor went 6 rounds for the first time in his career today to take a unanimous decision over tough Dwight Pratchett of Gary, Indiana. On the other hand, Pernell Whitaker stopped his man, Danny Avery, a TKO after 4 rounds. Whitaker looked the sharper of the two, though it was surprising to see Taylor go a full 6 rounds, and he went at a very hard pace from the very first bell. And so the march of the Olympians continues in professional boxing. And looking over what some of the others have done, Mark Breland here today was watching. He has won his 2nd professional fight. So, these young men who fought at the 1984 Summer Olympic Games in Los Angeles, California, surely are on their way toward great success in professional boxing. Steps to go here. Evander Holyfield and Mark Breland coming up live today on ABC's Wide World of Sports from Virginia.